Hey, and welcome to FitMitTuro Fitness Podcast, a podcast for people who want to get no BS information about fitness and know that fitness is about so much more than losing scale weight. It's about feeling confident in your skin and empowered in your life. I'm your host, Turo Virta, personal trainer, strength and nutrition coach, and most of all, a husband of my beautiful wife, Miriam. Each week, my guests and me will give you some no BS fitness tips and motivate you to take action in your own personal fitness journey as we talk about nutrition, exercise, mindset, personal development, and executing in life with enjoyable but still effective strategies. If your goal is to look better, feel and be strong and experience transformation from inside out, you, my friend, are in the right place. Thank you for jumping in, and now let's jump into today's episode.
Hey, welcome back to FitMitTuro Fitness Podcast. I'm your host, Turo Virta. And if you have been around here for a while, you know that I'm passionate about helping you build a strong, sustainable, and enjoyable approach to health and fitness without extremes, without guilt, and without burning out. Today, we have a guest who embodies that mission. Ariana Hakman, if hopefully I pronounced it correctly, is founder of LunaFit and a health and fitness brand that is taking completely fresh approach to wellness by combining technology, nutrition, fitness, and community. So she has built multiple businesses in the fitness space, from a gym to a meal prep company to supplements. And now she's on a mission to help busy people achieve their health goals with simple, sustainable solutions. And we are going to talk about why half of the American population is overweight and what we can actually do about it, and the truth about popular diets like keto, how to make healthy habits stick when life is busy, and how technology can be used to create healthier, happier life. So whether you are a parent, professional, or just someone who is trying to who is tired of starting over every Monday, this conversation is going to give you tools, clarity, and maybe even a little inspiration to take action today. So Ariana, welcome to the podcast. I'm so excited about having you here. Was that even close correct what I just said?
Yeah, that was amazing. Thank you so much. That was a great introduction. I'm really excited to be here and to talk to your listeners. I think I can relate very closely to them as a woman in my 40s as well, who's been through my own transformations and then also helped others. And hopefully we can give them some good information today.
Mm-hmm. So those who haven't heard your story yet, could you go a little bit back? You have pretty interesting story. So could you take us back to the moment when you decided to pivot from corporate finance to building a wellness empire?
Sure. So like you said, I was in corporate finance for about 15 years and climbing that corporate ladder. And I actually really enjoyed it. I was good at my job. But I had my daughter. Her name is Luna. That's where LunaFit comes from.
Nice.
She is behind it all.
Nice.
And
how old is she now?
She's 10.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice.
She's 10. Yeah. So after I had her, it just, it felt so different. I didn't enjoy what I was doing anymore. I hated leaving her every day. My husband and I had a nanny raising her, and it was just odd. It just felt like that wasn't how life was supposed to be. So after about 9 months back at work, I was like, I can't do this anymore. So ended up leaving the hospital, and I was like, okay, what in the world am I going to do now? And the only other thing I ever really knew anything about was health and fitness. And so I started mommy and me classes, actually wearing my daughter in a Mobi wrap and helping other moms exercise, move their bodies, started giving them some nutrition advice of how to, lose that baby weight and body fat. And it just kind of went from there. Ended up buying a gym and then expanding the gym and then meal prep and supplements and so on. So, but the latest thing, our app, is really, I think, the most exciting thing we've done in this whole journey.
What? Because I'm for sure want to ask you about your app and everything, but what kind of fears and doubts you had in making that leap, and how did you overcome them?
Yeah, it was terrifying. I literally, the moment I did it, I was like, wait, did I make the wrong decision? But you know, I thought about all the things that had happened. I actually, just by accident, over my time in the healthcare system I worked in, I ended up teaching their employee wellness program. And so I was trained additionally on fitness and movement. And I looked back at all of the things that God had placed in my life that kind of brought me to a place where I felt like I really could do something different. And I was like, okay, Ariana, this is your moment. You just got to keep going. But I think it takes a lot of trust that it's going to work out, a lot of faith in yourself, and just being willing to take those risks. Definitely a big mindset thing. You got to shift from, okay, I'm going to work every day and someone's going to give me what I'm going to do, to, okay, here I am. I have no clue what I'm doing, but I'm going to just do the next best thing every day and just try to keep going and build what I can build.
So how did you get started? Like, what was the first step? Like you said that you had that moment you started with moving with the moms, helping them to lose that baby weight. What happened then?
Yeah, so that kind of started because I went to like a support group, a mom support group, and they all seemed like they needed help. That's what they complained about the entire time we were there. I don't know what to eat. I don't know. I can't motivate myself to get moving. I don't know how to exercise without hurting myself. And I was like, man, I can help, right? That's always, I'm sure for you too, like that's always how this starts. It comes to you like, I can help, like I can actually help this person or these people, you know, with what they're looking for and what seems to be very important to them right now. And so from that, those classes, I did them in a gym. One of the moms that was in the support group that came to the classes owned a gym, and she let me teach these classes there. Oh, nice. And we eventually ended up partnering with them and buying into that gym. And then through a chain of events, we purchased another gym and ended up turning that into LunaFit. And then the next step was the meal prep. And that came from, again, our clients kept saying, I can't meal prep. I don't have time. I don't know how. I don't like what I'm making. And I looked at the market for meal prep that I felt good about, and I couldn't find anything that I loved. And I was like, okay, I can help. So then came the meal prep. And so each business that we've developed has come from our clients asking, and how can we help, and what can we do next, and how can we, you know, further help them in their health and fitness journey? Because, you know, I feel like anyone that's in this business, their passion is making people healthier, and helping them create lifestyle change, right? Not those quick fad diets, not the shots or the pills, but actual lifestyle changes that will help them feel better, age better, and, you know, be able to help them with their actual goals, which is always more than losing weight. You know, playing with their grandkids, fitting in that dress, whatever it is that's actually driving them to look for that change, feeling better about themselves overall.
Mm-hmm. And is there like anything, all these things what you have built? How have these kind of different vendors shaped your approach to health?
I feel like every time I start something new, it brings on more challenges, which, you know, challenges develop growth. So it definitely helps growth as a leader and a business person. But I think it also always gives me the opportunity to learn about something new. So I knew a lot about, you know, exercise, but until I actually started personal training, I didn't know as much as I know now. And I always feel like when you're teaching someone else something or you're starting something new, you have to learn more to get there. And so when I started the meal prep company, I knew a lot about nutrition, but I went, you know, so much deeper into nutrition and macros and what types of meals actually help people lose body fat. And, you know, I just learned so much more. And then into cooking, and we actually develop a lot of protein foods. So for me, a lot of the snacks out there are more higher in fat than in protein, even though they're called protein snacks. Yeah. So, you know, I create products for the kitchen and recipes that are actually higher in protein and still taste great. We have a line of protein bites that people go nuts over. And just things like that will actually help people in their journey. But it's all that learning experience. And then into the app, I mean, I didn't know anything about technology. I'm actually a late adopter of technology. I always wait until the last minute. But when I started getting into tech, now I know something about coding. I know something about how we put all of this information together in the app, how people use apps, what would actually help them stick to a goal. They're connected to their phones all day. So how can I take that dedication to their phone and help them turn that into something healthy?
And what do you think like that? What are the main, like how the technology is helping people? Because I feel like now there is that AI, it's everywhere. It's amazing tool if you use it correctly, and basically all information, like access to all research, coaching programs, workout programs, meal preparation. It's everything is everyone's fingertips. Like you can just take your phone, ask health advices, whatever advices from AI, or there are apps basically for every single thing. So
Yeah.
what? Yeah.
So I think.
Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry. I think, what we've done is kind of what we've done in our businesses is we've given people simple lifestyle habits around movement, nutrition, working out, hydration, and sleep. And so we took all of those 5 pillars and we put them in the app in one place so that they don't have to go to 3 different apps, or they don't have to be missing something when in there. So I think the first thing is putting everything in one place. We're making it fun. So there's a lot of animations that are very funny in there. And we have a whole reward system where you get achievements and points and you can spend them in the marketplace. People like to feel like they're achieving something, especially if the scale might not be moving. Okay, what else did I achieve today? Did I hit my step goal? Did I hit my water goal? Like, okay, I did something good, and I think that helps encourage them. So rewarding them for every step in the process, I think helps. And then, as you mentioned, AI, we're actually releasing a new version in a few weeks. It's going to basically have myself and my husband as AI coaches, and it'll take the framework of what we do in our business. So when you go to ChatGPT, you can ask anything, but there's so much information out there. What you get back is just a mix of everyone's information. So we're actually saying what we have had success with our clients. That's the advice that you'll get from us as a coach in the app as well.
Yeah, no, that is amazing. Like, was it's like you said, I feel exactly the same way. Like, of course, there is like a very much like it's kind of a better version of Google, like how it was a couple of years back. Like that, when you Google something, you might get you will get always answer, but if that answer is actually helpful or is it actually good one, it might be leading you to some blog post earlier, and now it's kind of same thing. It's just, in my opinion, it's just a better version of Google and like more accurate version. So you can, but of course it still has mistakes, but with these new tools like that, you can actually use your voice, what you are teaching, and adding those kind of tools. Like if you have built a course like I know, and then you can search basically what you are, how you would say it, and what is your take on it, and get actually that answer, because there is so much things that you might even not even, like most of the clients, I think they don't even know what kind of questions they should be asking.
Exactly. I totally agree. I think most of the time they've been so overloaded with information and they don't know what's right and what's wrong that I think you're totally right. I don't think they know what to ask anymore. And as health and fitness professionals, I think that's why they come find us.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's like, because I know you have worked with like myself with so many people that you have pretty basic pattern, like what in which order questions, what kind of things they need. Like, and I love that, like you said, that it's focusing on those kind of actionable goals, because I have very few people who scale is, for example, you mentioned scale earlier, that it's going faster than people think. It's because it's almost always going to be that progress is going to be slower than people would like to see. But when you have something to celebrate, like those kind of actionable wins, getting bed earlier, drinking your water, hitting your protein goal, whatever that goal might be. And that is then when the time is passing, the time is working for you and not against you, because ultimately, until you don't quit, it's only a matter of time before you reach your goal.
Exactly. In anything, right? In business and in weight loss, whatever it is you're trying to achieve, you'll eventually get there if you keep working at it and you become consistent rather than trying to be perfect. I think that's a big mistake in health and fitness is people think it's all or nothing. And it's not all or nothing. It's, it's a balance in between of, some days you're going to hit your goals and you're going to be amazing and other days you're not. But if you don't quit when you have those bad days and you keep going and doing your best, you'll eventually get there.
But let's talk quick, because I kind of related for this. It's like the state of health today. Like because it's in America, I think it's even, or it is a lot. Situation is worse than here in Europe or in Italy. But like you said that around 50% of Americans are overweight. Why do you think that this has become such widespread issue?
I think it's a few things. I think people's work has changed a lot. I think that so many people are sedentary in their jobs. So I'll even use myself as an example. When I was personal training and coaching classes and first started my business, I was on my feet all day. 12 hours a day, I was pretty much on my feet. Now that I've transitioned more into business, I sometimes will only have 4,000 steps at the end of my day, and I'll have to actually purposefully get those steps, whereas before it was coming naturally. And I think most jobs here, people work really long hours and they sit all day, and then they're tired because they're not feeding themselves properly or drinking enough water, and so they go home and they sit some more. And so I think the sedentary lifestyle is one reason. I also think that our food is not the quality that it used to be. I think even, healthy, nutritious food has lost a lot of their nutrition in the way that we're farming and doing things now. And a lot of our processed foods, you'll see things on social media, the difference between a label, let's say over in Europe versus a label here. Same company, same product, but different ingredients, because the things that are allowed here are so much worse than what's allowed in other countries. And then I think the last thing that really happens is a lot of medications are pushed here. So the United States is the only country where pharmaceuticals are advertised on television. Every other country, you go to your doctor, he prescribes something. Here, every other commercial on television is for a pharmaceutical. So people are going to their doctors and asking for medications, and that's very, very backwards.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because it's kind of, instead of preventing, it's always like that, you would do something against that you don't need medication. They are already selling you the solution when you have the problem. And that is, I think it's often forgotten a little bit. And also, like you mentioned, that lifestyle change, that is huge. Because if you think like now, of course, everything, if you look how things are made, it's everything must be comfortable, that you need to do less steps, you need to walk less, everything is basically reachable within your fingertips, that you don't need to move. It's everything should be just comfortable and kind of that working yourself, that kind of, it's because it's not, that's not selling. It's honest truth. It's not selling. Like if you have a solution, for example, weight loss, you have a solution, you are selling that, you have a workout program and a nutrition plan, but you have to cook yourself your meals. And then the other solution is promising just that you get the same results 10 times faster. And all you need to do is to take that pill. And it's not, you don't need to be, it's pretty obvious what most of the people are going to choose.
Yeah. Yeah. And the unfortunate thing is like, there is no magic pill, because if there was, even I would take it. I mean, I'm not,
Oh yeah, yeah,
I'm not
absolutely.
crazy about, having to cook all my food and working out 3 times a week and, trying to be active when I'm, working in my businesses and raising my daughter and doing all those things. Like it's hard. It's
Oh
hard
yeah.
to do the right thing. But the problem is there is no magic pill, and people here are just being fooled basically by that industry telling them there's a quick fix when there's really not. And I think between the long-term effects of taking some of those things will be very negative on people's bodies. And when they stop taking it, unless they've changed their lifestyle, it's all
That's
going to
right.
be a negative cycle, and they're going to be
Oh,
worse off than they were before. And, if people use it correctly, so if they're using it as a boost and they're also making the lifestyle changes that go with it, I don't have a problem with it. But if you're just taking shots or pills and you're not doing anything else,
exactly.
it's going to end up hurting you. And that's really sad to me, because that's not how it's advertised, of course.
Yeah, no, and it is honest truth. It's just that so many people, like, or what I have seen is that many people, like, they talk themselves talk themselves like most of the people, I would say that almost all people know that you would need to do kind of lifestyle changes at the same time, but then you start taking some pills or shots, and then it comes like that. Okay, I should be doing this, but then on the practical side, like, you might forget, or people will forget, or are not going to follow those lifestyle changes at the same time. They just remember to take pill, and then everything else is like that. Okay, maybe I start to do it tomorrow, and then at some point you are in a point that, okay, now you would like to try it by yourself, or without medication, without pills. And that's the point, like that when you haven't had that experience how to actually do it in a real life, that's when all those results what you have got, you probably gonna end up in a worse place than even getting those results in a short term.
Yeah. Yep, I totally agree. And it is a skill set that you have to build. It's a skill set to be able to be disciplined enough to, work out when you need to, drink water, get your steps in, eat a healthy, balanced diet. But I do think people make it a lot harder than it has to be. Yes, you have to change things. Yes, you might have to do a few things that you aren't as excited about as first, but I found that once people get into it and they see the results and they feel so much better, they actually enjoy it. And it really is a lifestyle that I think that most everyone would enjoy if they got to, someone that could get them to where they've developed those skill sets and they were able to use them, because you do feel so much better, look so much better, have so much more energy and capabilities, even your mental, capabilities at that point are improved, by making the right choices every day.
So if you mentioned a couple of things already, but if you could give 5 simple fitness tips to prevent all these diseases and things to happen, what would they be?
Yeah. It goes all around the five pillars that we put in the app. So the first is no less than 6 hours of sleep a night, somewhere between 6 and 8 hours of sleep. Sleep, I think, is really the silent killer. And it's the thing that people think that's okay, that they're not getting, because they're like, I feel great, but it doesn't work that way. Your body is not happy when it doesn't get enough sleep and rest and recovery time. So sleep is a big one. Getting your steps in, try to aim for 7,000 to 10,000 steps per day. Make sure you're at least being active. If you're not just going for a walk, are you swimming? Are you playing pickleball? Are you doing something that's active and getting your body moving every day? Next is make sure you're getting your protein in. So if you're getting enough protein in, we always tell our clients to try and aim for about 1 gram per desired body weight. If you get your protein in, everything else becomes a lot easier, because protein keeps you full. It gives you good nutrients, and then you fill that in with, healthy carbs and fats, and you're in a good place. Next one is hydration. Making sure that you're getting at least half your body weight in ounces of water every day is a big one. A lot of people are dehydrated and they don't know that that's what's making them feel tired and hungry. And so staying hydrated is a big one. And then the last one is working out, trying to do strength training at least 3 times a week. And you don't need 2-hour gym sessions. If you can just get in 30 minutes, of some sort of lifting weights or some sort of impact workout 3 times a week, you'll be feeling really good and you'll be in a good place. So those are kind of our 5.
Yeah. Oh, very, very good points. I can only agree. And it's basically those what most people like. It's you might if you mentioned about protein, sleep, like if you are not, and I always track those things at least for a short while. Like if you don't know how many steps you are making, look how many steps you are making. Look, actually, if you think that you are eating a lot of protein, track protein. Like people know that they should be eating protein. They know that, okay, I'm eating protein, but there is a huge difference if you know that you are eating some protein or if you are actually hitting those goals you mentioned, because it requires a lot of work, and becoming aware of those things like your sleep, protein intake, amount of steps you are actually telling, because it's so easy for us to talk ourselves and say that, oh, I'm doing okay, I'm active, but I don't actually know how many steps I'm doing, how much protein I'm eating, and it all starts there.
You're so right. Yeah, I think just as humans in general, I think we tend to underestimate and overestimate things. And you're right. You're totally right. Tracking is key. And you don't have to track long term, I don't think, especially nutrition. If you just track for, a few weeks until you learn what it means to get, 130 grams of protein in a day, and you know what it means to, I find a lot of times with women, we tend to graze, right? We're making our kids lunches. We're eating their leftover snacks, and all of those calories tend to add up. And you don't realize how much it adds up to by the end of the day unless you're tracking it. So I do think that is a big thing. You're totally right.
Yeah. No, and it's like you said, it's not tracking is just it's not a diet. It's just a tool. Like if your goal is to become wealthier, you are probably want to track your finances, like
Yes.
how much you earn, how much you spend, and it's the same thing with the nutrition. It's the same thing with your steps. It's the same thing with your workouts. If you are actually tracking your workouts, that you are seeing that are you actually getting stronger in your workouts? Also, are they bringing results? How much water you are actually drinking, or if you are just drinking some, of course, you don't have to do everything like the rest of your life, but at least for a short period of time that you see where you are at this point, and when you feel that this is now, it's already like kind of automatic. I will get, even like it's not getting perfectly in every day, hitting those goals, but that you get close to your goals, you will do so much better in general, and actually reach those goals what you are aiming for.
Yeah. And I think that's the great thing about, and why I think the app is such a great tool, is because you can track all of that there. And if you have a fitness tracker, it'll even connect to it. So I think it's so helpful, that it's all in one place, and you can see where you're short and what you need, and it gives you goals, and it'll adjust your goals based on kind of, who you are and what you're doing and how you're doing. So I think that makes it really useful when you're trying to get healthier and create a lifestyle habit.
Yeah, and then like I mentioned, the tracking those things, it's not another diet. It's not like either you do it or if you don't do it. So there is no like food rules like in some other diets, like in keto, for example, and that is like because many people, they believe like that keto is the answer. And how I know you are not. Also, you are not a big believer of keto. So why do you think that keto isn't for everyone, and what would work better instead?
Yeah, so I think for keto, first of all, I think keto is just a remake of the original Atkins. It has very similar principles. Maybe it's a little more modernized, but there's a lot of research done on the Atkins diet, very high fat, low carb, that, your internal organs don't love it. Over time, they don't really enjoy that over time. It kind of maxes them out. So I don't think it's good for you internally. And I do believe that any diet, any nutrition plan, you can lose weight, right? Calories in, calories out. If you're in a calorie deficit, you're going to lose weight. And especially when you restrict food groups, usually that will happen. But I also have found with, all of the clients we've worked with that two things make a nutrition plan better as far as long-term results. One is that it's sustainable. So a lot of people that do keto eventually want to quit. It's not something that they want to do for the rest of their lives, especially because it's so restrictive. And so that for me makes any plan not great, because as soon as you quit it, you're back into that yo-yo dieting cycle, because you're going to stop and you're going to go back to your old habits and you're going to gain any weight back, plus usually a little bit more than what you lost. And then two, we've just found that the most successful way to lose body fat is, I call it moderate protein. Some would consider it high protein, moderate carb and low fat. So we tend to favor carbs over fats, as far as losing body fat. And it's also, to me, it trends more with the way people want to eat. So no one wants to eliminate carbs from their diet. You look at alcohol, everybody wants to be able to have a glass of wine. Well, that's a carb, it's the closest thing to it. It's not going to mimic anything else. Their kid has a birthday party. They want to have a bite of cake. That's a carb. So when you look at just the daily lifestyle things that happen, typically those center around carbs, not fat. So if you have a balanced nutrition plan that allows you to fit those things in, I feel like it's just much more sustainable over time.
Yeah.
How do you feel about keto?
No, my opinion is like, I'm not a big believer, big fan of it anyways. And what I'm really against, like you mentioned it a little bit, that if you have those kind of food rules, like obviously if your goal is changing your body composition, it comes down to calories in, calories out, and of course, like a resistance training. But if you have you make these kind of food rules, of course, for someone, they are easier. You limit your something, like either it's going to be lower carbs, lower fat. Obviously, I think that it should always be relatively high in protein. Rest basically until you hit your calorie goals. Doesn't matter that much. But if you make these kind of rules like that, you are limiting, either the simplest ways are limiting your eating times, limiting your carb intake. And if you can't imagine to follow these rules, let's say 5 years from now, it's not matter of if you're going to make it, it's matter of time before you're going to quit. And because it's not going to be sustainable. So, and then what is the point if you are able to, of course, it makes you happy, feel great. If you go for keto for first, let's say 3 months, you lose a lot of weight, you get close to your goal or even into your body weight goal. And then after that, you start to crave carbs, you start to go back to your old habits.
Yeah.
And like you mentioned, you are going to gain everything back. So what is the point of doing it? Of course, you get that short win, and maybe you try to lie to yourself that now I'm doing these changes, I move more. But ultimately, diet is something that whatever you decide to do, what I have seen that works kind of the best and gets the best results, first step for me is always to look where you are at the moment, becoming aware what you are currently doing, without changing anything. That is my always is that most of the people, they know what they should be doing. But if you start where you are at the moment, and then you start to look where you could be changing. Could you be adding something? Could it be adding or swapping if you don't have any protein in your breakfast? Could you be swapping? It could be simply different, some plain, for example, just came to my mind, a conversation I had yesterday with one of my clients is he was having a yogurt, just a regular plain yogurt, at the breakfast is that if you would be just swapping that for higher protein yogurt, for Greek yogurt, skyr, something like that, and you will be like, let's say you have it 150 grams, 200 grams, and a regular one has 3 grams of protein. You swap it for Greek yogurt, you have 10 per 100. So it's 14, 15 grams over there. You are adding more protein without actually even changing something what you are eating. So these kind of habits and looking where you are, like I'm like, of course you have to, at some point you have to learn to say no also for things, but often for me what works the best is making sure that you are eating enough of, if it's going to be protein, if it's going to be fiber, but those things, when you have enough protein, enough fiber, then everything else automatically you are eating less something else, because they are keeping you so much fuller. And that is my take. I'm not, if somebody says that, I really don't enjoy eating carbs, I never want to eat them, then I said, okay, if you really can imagine to do it for 10 years from now, go for it. I'm not that person, but if somebody is like not active at all, sitting all day in office and feels amazing and have been doing keto for years, I don't have issue with that. But in general, I'm not a big believer.
Yeah, exactly. I do think that you have to, meet people where they are. If you have someone that's how they want to eat, I'm like, okay, no problem. Like you can eat that way. But I totally agree. It's only if they're going to keep eating that way forever, because you're so right. Like there's no point in starting something that you're not going to keep doing. That's why I'm so against, diets. I think you should be on a nutrition plan that you can stay on.
Yeah.
Because diets, I mean, they have the word die in it. I always say that. I'm like, who made that word? But it's not something that people enjoy. It's not something that people want to do long term. So, if keto is their eating plan and that's how they're going to eat forever, that's very different. But I've never met a woman in her 40s, at least, that doesn't want to eat carbs. Maybe that thinks she shouldn't eat carbs, but not that doesn't want to. So
yeah, me neither. There are very, very few of them who doesn't want. It's a different that maybe they are not eating at the moment because they know that, or they think that they have to eat this way to be able to lose weight. But honest truth might be totally different, and that is like for many women, it's such a relief. Like you said, what you're saying, that I can eat actually carbs, that I haven't had fruit for decades because I thought that it's high in sugar or something. Those kind of things what happens in coaching, they are like that. Wow, is that of course there is like, if you have always heard that things are this way and you have thought about it that it's like this, and you haven't honestly given a chance for something else and trying like that, because most of the, like especially women over 40, they have had like that, they have that experience. Like, I don't know, if you are struggling with weight in your 40s, very few women are like that. They are turning 40, 45 and starting their first ever diet at that age. So
true story.
Yeah, most of the women have had some own experiences in the past, and often it comes from maybe in their 20s, early 30s, things were working. And now then all of a sudden you are kind of in a situation that same things, they are not working anymore. Like, and then having that courage to try something different, because maybe 20 years ago, what was working, what was at the time was maybe it was avoiding carbs, maybe it was avoiding fats, going for a run. And now there is some coaches telling you that you should eat high protein, do strength training and walk, but no like really hard cardio workouts. And I totally understand. It sounds like that. Wow, this is not working for me. I need to burn more calories, and if I eat carbs, I gain weight drastically. So it takes a lot of trust and courage to try something different.
Yeah, it's a big mind game. It is. I mean, even I used to do a lot of cardio, and you need something for that heart health. But I did used to be able to run a few times a week and pretty much eat whatever I want and not have any problems. But, you know, even I have to shift things. And it has been a big mindset shift for me to come into that, lift weights, get your steps in, you know, I mean, obviously eat healthy, but I think the fitness shift is actually the biggest thing for me because I've always eaten carbs. I've never been one to give up food groups. But the fitness shift that I've done over the past several years of, okay, I'm not doing hard cardio. I don't need HIIT classes. I need to lift weights, you know, progressive overload and get my steps in. And that's really all I need. Now I'll tell you my cardio right now is terrible. So I could probably get a little more in, but I mean, it's for weight loss and weight management. It's not the key, which, you know, women were told, everyone was told for years that cardio is the key, but it's definitely not. But that is a big mindset shift just culturally, I think for a lot of people around fitness. And it's a good one. I think that, you know, we're giving out the real information now of what our bodies crave.
Yeah, and it's not like cardio, of course, it's important for your heart health, for many longevity, for many things, but it just shouldn't be the main driver for weight loss.
Yep, exactly. Yep.
So what do you, like you mentioned about this kind of mindset changes from long-term success instead of chasing those quick fixes. So how do you help people developing that kind of mindset, or what are your best tips?
Yeah, and I think that's the hardest part of being in health and fitness is you think that you're getting in it to teach people about fitness and nutrition, but really you end up teaching them discipline and how to make different choices and how to actually enjoy having a different lifestyle. And that's all in their mind. I think that first of all, you have to have someone that really wants it. You can't actually help anyone that doesn't want it. And I'm sure we've all tried. We've all had those clients that are like, oh, I want this, but they don't listen and they don't do anything that you ask them to. And you can see how averse they are to change. And I think those are the ones that, you know, that are the hardest to let go. But someone has to want to change first. But if they do want to change, I think it really comes down to giving them small steps. So that's when you go back to, you know, the 5 simple habits and maybe starting with one at a time and, you know, adding them in as they go and I love what you said about have them find out where they're at, right? So how many steps are you currently taking a day? Track your food for a day so you can see what your calories are and then taking that baseline and saying, okay, I need you to eat more protein at breakfast. That's your first thing that you're going to do for the next week. Okay, I need you to, you know, go for a 10-minute walk every day. It's your second step, and really just helping them add on and enjoy those changes and feel the differences that they make and, you know, help them see results to help them create discipline because all of this is about discipline. It's not about motivation. I do not wake up motivated every day to go to the gym or eat my meal prep. No, you know, I mean, I think if we have a big goal, something short term, it can motivate you to do things. But long term, discipline is the key across your life if you want to make any kind of change, no matter what it is. And so I think giving people small wins is the way to wrap their minds around it and making sure that they're not telling themselves they can't do something. So, like you said, I can't eat bread, I'll gain weight. You know, I can't lift weights, I'll get bulky. Helping them kind of debunk those things and show them like, no, you can do this and you can do that. And this is going to be the actual result. And giving them those small wins to build trust. Right. You need that trust so that they'll do the crazy things that you're telling them to do, because some of it does sound crazy to them, but you're like, I promise I've got you.
And it takes a lot of courage, like to trust like someone like fitness because you know there are many coaches like maybe you or me, we would talk differently, but then there is someone else who is saying that no, here is the meal plan, this is what you need to follow, and you know, someone is saying that it's all about cardio or you don't need to strength train. And then, you know, other coach is telling that the approach is a little bit different. I don't I don't do any meal plans. I learn you how to actually enjoy, like learning to make different recipes. But if you like, the issue with what I have with the meal plans is that, of course, they might help in the beginning. They might help in like, of course, you will get results. Like if you're all calories, like you said, either it's simple way, but also the question is always that, are you going to do this the rest of your life? Are you able to do it for next 5-10 years? And if the answer is no, then maybe you should consider some other option and actually learning things what work for you. If it's going to be meal prepping, learning how to make healthy, delicious meals, taking steps what you feel like that, okay, this doesn't feel that it's too much, because ultimately it's all about learning to keep promises you make to yourself. Because that is, I feel like that is the biggest issue. What I see is that, we start always, or many people start motivated, and then, you make promises that I'm going to work out 5 times a week. You make these kind of stupid rules that it's kind of, we come back to all or nothing, that if it's not going to be the 5 times or 3 times a week, it's not worth of it to do 2 times or 1 time, or if I can't plan my meals perfectly for a full day, or I went off track on Friday evening, so what is the point, and gained weight? What is the point to getting back on normal habits on Saturday, because I start over on Monday? And it's all these kind of changes what makes like just keeping those promises what you make to yourself. And if you can't keep your promises, then you have to make smaller promises for yourself and start from there.
Yeah. Making it a priority, basically, and understanding its importance. I think people really underestimate the value of their health. So, I appreciate, having muscle and looking a certain way. And because of the industry I'm in, I maintain, a certain look, but it's far beyond what you need to be healthy. But if people understood what their goal should be. So what's your goal? You're not trying to get on a stage, right? So like, what is your goal that's healthy? So setting a realistic goal for themselves, not an Instagram model, because if you're not going to go be an Instagram model, then you don't need to maintain the body fat percent of an Instagram model. But then also understanding that for me, like more than anything now, I do this because I want to age well. I want to have a quality of life. And I think people don't see, that's a big deal. Like you only get one body and one life, and you're going to hit an age. And if you keep up the habits that you have that are making you unhealthy, you're going to hit an age where you're just miserable all the time. And you're going to have so many health issues that your quality of life is going to be really bad. And that's, for me, what I want to avoid. I want to age well. I want to have a good quality of life, up until, my last days. And that's what people need to understand about health is it's not for today, it's for, all of your tomorrows, and making it a priority is really important.
So what would it be for someone who is really busy and or having children? What would be the first step to prioritizing that wellness without feeling overwhelmed?
I think you definitely can always get your water in. That's something that no one can argue with. I don't care what your job is, how busy you are. You can always stay hydrated. I think you can always take a couple of small walks a day, even if I have a walking pad at home, because once I go home, I can't leave. So I have a walking pad, and I'll work or I'll watch TV, or I'll do stuff on my walking pad, because that's a commitment I've made to get my steps in. So I think you can always get some improvement in your steps. And then, the nutrition piece for me, like I started the meal prep company because I had so many clients asking, but I also started it because I needed meal prep and didn't have time to do it. And I understand not everyone can afford to pay for meal prep, but you can do some very simple things in a very short amount of time. Involve your kids in it, have them help you in the kitchen, teach them healthy lifestyle habits so our next generation is healthier. So it's never that you don't have time. It's that it's not a priority. Just to be really straight, I run 4 businesses. I have a 10-year-old. I'm very, very busy, but I fit these things in because they've become a priority in my life. And the better I feel, the more I can help my family, help my daughter, help my clients. And I think when you put it into perspective, it also makes a big difference in what you're willing to commit to.
But isn't that like if you thought you said it so well, because course that is also for you, like because it's balancing everything what is going on, family, business, your own health. It's it's pretty hard to kind of be on top of each of thing. Like usually, maybe it's if you have those three things like a business, family, and your own health. It's maybe you can set top priority for two of them, and one is going to be kind of on maintenance or something, because if you try to get in three of those things, it's very, very hard, and it's for most people it's unrealistic. So how do you personally, is it because what I hear from many people, it's like that, I don't have time for myself. So is it selfish to take time for your own health, or how do you balance it?
It's never selfish, I don't think, because again, I don't think if you don't take care of yourself, then you can't take care of anyone else. And eventually, especially at a time in your life. So my parents are aging right now. So if I was unhealthy, it would be a lot harder for me to take care of them. If I'm unhealthy, it's a lot harder for me to take care of my daughter. So I never think that taking care of yourself is selfish, but I do think that you prioritize different things on different days. So like I don't work out every day. I honestly go to the gym to actually get lifting workouts 3 times a week. Even me, who's a fitness professional, I can't make it more than 3 times a week. But on those 3 days, whatever days they fall on, that's my priority first thing in the morning. While other mornings, it's my business. And then, so I do think that what you said makes a lot of sense. I think you pick your priorities, but they might be in different orders every day. And that's okay. Because again, it's consistency over time that you're trying to achieve. So I've worked out 3 times a week, every week for a really long time. And so my consistency over time maintains what I need to maintain. It's the same thing with any habit that you put in. Like I don't get my sleep every night. It's not an every single day hitting every single goal. I do think that's unrealistic for anyone that, is busy, but just consistently hitting those goals over time and, making things count. I don't hit my step goal every day, but, on a day that I have time to jump on my walking pad at home, I jump on my walking pad at home. I think giving yourself grace while also making sure that you're thinking about your goals and, when you can hit them is really what's important.
No, very true. Very true. So talking about a little bit about your LunaFit app, I'm curious to know, like, because I heard you have said that 80% of fitness app users quit in 30 days. Why do you think that happens? And how is LunaFit different?
I think it's with anything that people start, they're excited about it, and then they start it, and then they're like, oh, I don't want to keep doing this. I think there has to be something that keeps them engaged. So I think we've made it simple. Again, everything's in one place. It's an all-in-one app. I think that it does a lot of things for you. So with our new release coming out, you'll be able to even voice everything. Like you'll be able to talk to the coach. So you don't even have to type anything in. You can have a conversation on the way to work if you have a question about your fitness plan. It connects to your wearable. So if you have a wearable, it'll track things for you. So I think we make it as easy as possible, but then we make it fun. There's, personality in the app, if I can say that, you're able to put so much in there, humor and encouragement, and it's basically like a personal trainer that's with you all the time. It's the same thing that we give to our in-person clients, but not just 3 times a week for an hour. They can ask us questions all the time. They can engage with us all the time, and then the rewards. I think people, they want to know they're doing good. Every goal they hit or get close to, they want to feel like they did a great job, and they want to get that that little dose of, dopamine of, oh, I did a good job. I accomplished something, no matter how big or small it is. And I think combining all of that into the LunaFit app has really made it something special and will help achieve kind of the goal that we have of, helping America become healthier. It's a big passion for me. And I know that more people would do it if they had the right tools.
Yeah, amazing. And this is, I love the fact, because I feel like that most people, they forget to celebrate themselves. Like, because it feels like that, of course, I'm drinking my water. Of course, it wasn't that much. Of course, I have to do my workout. But if you never celebrate them, because most of the people, they focus only then that the negativity side, like that, you miss, you did 2 workouts and missed the third one. You are not happy, or most people are not happy about those 2 workouts, but they are pissed off with themselves that they missed the third one and not celebrate those 2. So even it's a small way, some kind of recognition, doing those kind of hard things, like working out, getting your steps in. Like, it don't need to be something food related, but some small recognition. Like for me, for example, it's just drinking my favorite protein shake after my workout. It's my small way to give myself like a pat on the back and say that now I did it. I deserve something, but it's not like, of course, I'm not going to eat like 5 ice creams, but something what gives you a little bit like kind of joy also, and recognition that you have done those things. So
making it enjoyable.
Yeah. What is your vision, the future of fitness tech in the next, let's say, 5 to 10 years?
I think there'll be a few shifts. I hope. I think my biggest hope is that I think a lot more real information is coming out there. So like, you and I have very similar philosophies on, what people should be doing to lose weight. And most of what, I'll say, I don't want to say all, I'm very big because, someone comes after you, but really all of what we're saying is backed by science now. Like, it's legitimate. I think there was so much false information out there before that I think it was really hard for people to do the right thing because they didn't know what the right thing was. And I think there's this trend towards truth now. And even, a lot of the medical community is coming around at giving you preventative advice rather than, just trying to teach everything as, sickness. It's like, what if our healthcare system was around preventing things, around sunlight and nutrition and exercise? And so I love that trend. And I hope that continues because I think that will be a big help. And then I do think that, fitness apps and AI and all of those things, I think it's really going to revolutionize fitness by making it more accessible to people that can't afford a personal trainer or a program, or don't have the time to commit to going into a fitness facility for an hour, 3 or 4 times a week. I think the accessibility of fitness and coaching is going to become so much bigger. And I love those 2 trends because I think that they'll really help that 50% number come down. And maybe for the first time in many years, we'll see, a healthier population, more longevity in our population. And it kind of gives you hope for, for the future at that point.
Yeah, no, I hope, especially for like, I have pretty much same thoughts. I think that AI, it's going to change so much. Like, of course, it's not going to take need of coaches away as you still need, but AI is going to make everything and or so much easier, accessible. Like, it's not going to be so pricey anymore. So for more people can benefit from those things. And I really hope that it comes, like you mentioned, instead of treating already diseases what you have, that it would become more like preventive, and also from government sides that they would support, like, I don't know how it is in States, but at least here in Italy, you don't get, for example, if somebody is coming to, like in some other countries, I'm from Finland, I know that in Finland they already use that kind of system that if somebody signs up for example, group sessions they get money from government or from their employer, like they get from their company €50, €100, whatever per month to actually join for some fitness program. And here, at least in Italy, it's like that you get only money if you have already like some medication or you need to go to physiotherapy or something. Then when you have already that back pain, but instead of treating it, supporting more that preventive side already, and that I think would do very lot in our space.
Yeah, I really hope that is more of the trend, and that's. You're starting to see more corporate wellness here where, companies are paying for their employees and things like that. And we're actually going to explore that market with the app because a lot of things that happen is here they'll give them money to go get a gym membership, but we know how many people actually use their gym membership. Big box gyms are literally built on the fact that hundreds of people pay and only a few come in. I mean, that's literally their business model. Yeah. So I think putting something in their hands that's actually going to encourage them to stick with it and use it and do it is going to be something that really helps.
Awesome. So our flew quickly by. I would like to finish this always with some quick fire round and just a few last questions. And so just answer quickly. And first, let's get started. And is your morning routine in 3 words?
Get my daughter to school, work out. Oh, 2. I got 2. Get my daughter to school and work out.
That's all good. One health myth you wish would disappear forever.
One health food?
No, health myth. Like myth.
Oh, that you need cardio to lose weight. I hate cardio.
All right. Favorite workout when you are short on time?
For body, takes less time. Just pick one body part. 3 exercises. You're good.
One book, podcast, or mentor that has changed your life?
Oh, that's a tough one. Alex Hormozy, his books, and I was in his program for a while.
Oh, nice. Awesome. So let's, if someone is listening right now and feels stuck in their health journey, what's the one thing you would like to do then today?
We actually have a little gift for them that talks about the 5 simple tips and kind of how to implement them. They can go to lunafitjourney.com. If they want to download the app and check it out or see what else we do, if they're in the Central Florida area, they can go to lunafit.com and see everything that we do. So awesome. If they're wanting to start their health journey, definitely check out lunafitjourney.com and, follow us on social, Lunafit Universe, to see everything we're doing.
So would you mind sharing your social medias, like where people can connect? And I will add all these links to show notes, but if you share it.
Yeah, so our Instagram and TikTok and YouTube is all at Lunafit Universe.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining, Ariana. And if you want to connect with Ariana and learn more about Lunafit, I'll make sure to link all those websites, apps, and social channels in the show notes so you can check it all out and see how her approach might fit into your life. And if you're listening right now and you took something valuable from today's conversation, please take 30 seconds to share this episode with a friend who could use a little motivation, or tag both Ariana or Lunafit and me on Instagram to let us know your favorite takeaway. So thank you so much, Ariana, and talk to you soon.
Hold up, friend. Do you love FitMitTuro Fitness Podcast? If so, the best way to say thank you is to subscribe to the podcast and leave a review on iTunes. I know every podcaster wants you to leave a review, but it's because those reviews help the podcast to reach more people. I truly want to know what you think, and if this particular episode resonated with you, would you also please share it? Either send a link to someone who you think will find it valuable, or take a screenshot and post it into your social media and tell your friends and family why they should listen it. Make sure you tag me so I can hear your feedback and give you a little love. And if you aren't already following me on Instagram or TikTok, that's the perfect time to hit that follow button. Thank you for being here and listening to FitMitTuro Fitness Podcast.